NBA DFS show with John Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook Preview Show. It is Thursday, but James, unlike our usual smaller Thursday slates, we had 7 games on the DraftKings board here. Starting 7 p.m., Dallas, Washington. 8 p.m., late night hammer on this small in the 7-game slate on DraftKings. Phoenix, New Orleans, rounding us out there. Currently hanging, watching this 10:30 Clippers Timberwolves game. Timberwolves up big in that one, right out at the jump. It's been a pretty decent slate. For those of you who tuned in to the live show, we built the lineup there that's doing pretty well if you played what we put down there. So hopefully we can build some more winners for all of you on the preview show. And then you'll have Grande joined by Justin Carlucci making his live stream debut at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and share button so you are ready to go for the live show on such a big day. Grande, how we doing, man?
We're doing just fine. Interesting 7-gamer. No teams on the second leg of a back-to-back here, John. So all 14 teams. There is one singular 10 p.m. game, Houston and Golden State, that just got knocked off the main slate. So can't say I'm necessarily mad about it because of who's not playing in that game.
Yeah.
No Steph, no Draymond. I believe no Tari Eason for Houston. So a lot of, regulars that we would get to not playing. So don't mind just seeing the 7 games with that last game being cut off. And you and I usually like having the late night hammer, but you know what, John? It's good to have the slate end sometimes at 10 p.m., right?
I agree. This is also pretty interesting slate from a point spread and sort of competitiveness standpoint as well. 7 p.m. Denver, Cleveland, with a 235 game total. Cleveland is a 3.5 point home favorite in that game. Dallas, Washington, also 7 p.m. start, 234.5. Dallas, though, 12-point home favorite there in that one. And then we go to Chicago, San Antonio. 232.5. Chicago is an underdog in San Antonio. Wemby already ruled out of that game for San Antonio here. So, we got some basically all value plays for San Antonio in a matchup against Chicago, which has really been one of the top spots for game flows here. And then Chicago on the flip side, not having to deal with Wemby, no Kobe White already for them in that game as well.
Right.
So we kind of know where we may be going in that situation. So 8 p.m. late night hammer-ish in quotations, 3 games at 8 p.m. That one's looking pretty fun to talk about. You do have Luka. You got SGA as your top 2 guys up over $10,000. We got Devin Booker. Kevin Durant's going to miss at least a week, going to be reevaluated. Bradley Beal did return, but basically got booked by himself here. He had 53 fantasy points. He's got the Pelicans, as we know, a team that is getting healthier. And as they are getting healthier, James, just a 1.5 point spread in that game. Yeah, I think 2 weeks ago, Phoenix, even without Durant, would have been like an 8.5 point favorite here. Pelicans 1.5 point home dog. So should be a pretty interesting slate, I think, overall.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'd love to get to Luka in current form. He's come back from the wrist injury and he's looked great. The problem is the minutes are obviously not going to be great here. Probably New Orleans versus San Antonio. And usually I'm not the first person to scream blowout, but Washington they've ruled out Kuzma, Kispert, Keyshawn George already. Malcolm Brogdon on the injury report. So, if Brogdon plays, who's your starting lineup? Poole, Brogdon, Valanciunas, Koulibaly, Sarr, and Bub Carrington's your 6th man.
Sure.
And if Brogdon doesn't play, Bub Carrington's your starter. And then your bench is Jared Butler, Johnny Davis, Marvin Bagley.
What are you trying to say?
Saying that team is not very good. Respect to them for being in the NBA. Dallas is really clicking right now. So I would love to get to Luka in this spot. 11-2 is probably in current form $1,000 too cheap. But I just don't think we're going to get 40 minutes. And if you do think that he can smash in enough time where the 40 minutes doesn't necessarily matter, then play him. What happened to SGA is criminal the other night, because he had 51 fantasy points in 30 minutes and then never played the fourth quarter. He would have gone for 60, maybe 70 in that game. So you could play SGA from Canada. He is a Canadian born.
You have the Canadian narrative put on there.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't hate SGA. He's gonna see Davion, he's gonna see Scotty B. Neither of those are the most fun spots, but I don't think any singular player in the NBA could guard SGA one-on-one anyway. So if you want to get to SGA, you can. You're spot on about Devin Booker. Devin Booker's been really good this year. He's really good in general, but the minutes are amazing. The shot volume's amazing. The 3-point shot volume's amazing. I think the peripheral stats, you and I would both are like coming into the year. If you said almost 7 assists and 4 rebounds a game, we'd be super satisfied with that too. So love Devin Booker at 94 as well. You know what? Salute Scotty B for making it into the 9K range. It was only, 4 slates too late.
Yeah.
Really not a fun spot, if I do say so myself. Not fun at all. But it is. But he's been pretty.
Him versus Jalen Williams probably isn't fun for either side of that matchup.
No, they're just they have what's the meme, right? They're just staring at each other. It's the Spider-Man meme.
Spider-Man meme, yeah.
Yep.
Mexican standoff, also.
Yeah.
Get De'Aaron Fox. There's some interesting reports today out there about maybe the Kings potentially looking to trade De'Aaron Fox, that they had tried to extend him. He declined because if he gets all team, he can then go get the Supermax, which he then maybe would sign with the Kings still. But if not, the Kings may be looking to unload De'Aaron Fox here. 9K, still been really good. Got Memphis here. It's a good spot. I don't mind the 9K spot for him there. This Denver-Cleveland game has the makings, though, of being something that could be, could be something here. You get Joker obviously in one side, but you might be getting peak performances here out of the Cavs, something that we haven't really seen out of them all too often. They haven't been pushed in too many games. Boston obviously was the more recent one, and Donnie Mitch had a monster performance in that game. I like Mitchell at $8,800. I know I've been to Mitchell Jinx a lot during our years at Fantasy Alarm, but I feel like that's a good price for a spot here.
Denver's bad defensively.
Yeah.
They're bad defensively. I know they came back against Golden State and stuff, but they've been a bottom 10 defense lately. So yeah, I think that there's a lot of merit to getting to 88 Garland, 88 Mitchell, 74 Garland. I like both Cleveland guard quite a bit. Obviously, Mitchell has the ceiling, but Garland's $1,400 cheaper.
He is. Brunson in Charlotte's down to $8,400. It's definitely too cheap most nights for Jalen Brunson, but we're going to be talking about Karl-Anthony Towns against Charlotte most likely when we get over there. DeJounte, I'm good there at 81 against Phoenix. No qualms.
Just needs to make shots. Needs to make shots.
Shot maker show here. If you make your shots, 5 steals, 6 stocks, 10 assists, 5 rebounds. Just make a bucket, man. Hit a bucket for us.
He's too good. He's too good to be this bad offensively.
Agreed. CGM's fine if you want. I'm probably not going to play Poole.
I would say a little bit. I guess a little bit lukewarm on New Orleans with Ingram coming back and Herb Jones, but
if anything, it just makes that game as competitive. Like I said,
that's fair. That's also a fair point.
I'd be curious to see what the minutes end up looking like there for them too. Not for Ingram, more so with Herb and how that rotation plays out. They got Monk. I mean, he's been really good. He's 6,700, 53, 51, 42, 43. I mean,
starting.
Look at these assist numbers.
It's crazy.
Insane. So it's certainly good there. Chicago, Giddey is questionable. I guess we'll see if he plays or not, but this is the spot you've talked about with Giddey, right? No White, no Williams.
No Lonzo.
No Lonzo. Like plenty of opportunities for Giddey to play minutes. played 32 against Brooklyn, triple-doubled. More people will probably be on the Giddey play this go-around if everything sort of stays status quo here. Where does he rank for you among like your top plays?
I mean, in terms of tournaments, he's a very appealing tournament play because he played 32 minutes in a game without Kobe White. That's like you said, that's all we were talking about. Like in situations where there's people out at his position, well, then he has a ceiling because he is good at everything but shooting the basketball and defense, which is why he gets taken off the floor. But if there's no like, I think what happens with Giddey is if there's a risk of losing a game, he gets taken off the floor because he can't play defense, right? But when they were blowing Brooklyn out and he's doing everything, then he has a really high ceiling. My opinion, I have a high opinion of Josh Giddey in tournaments when people are out. There's also even a scenario when people are out, he gets taken off the floor in a close game. So, forever a tournament play, someone that can win you a tournament. If you had him the other day, you probably had a really good lineup at 6,300. Yeah. So my opinion doesn't really change. He is just forever a GPP play until or unless he can start playing defense and be on the floor more.
Sure. Working our way down here, you have Chris Paul again. No Wemby, so we'll see what happens there. Tyus, any more interest in him with no Durant? Yeah, he was good, but as we expected, slight decline in performance with Beal on the floor.
Yeah, I'm not at 61. I'd rather just play Chris Paul. I would rather go back to Karis LeVert or Ayo Dosunmu, who played 30 minutes and had 30 fantasy points. I'm already bracing myself for Vasily Micic to play 30 minutes again and smash when nobody plays him.
Does Dinwiddie get a blowout game going here?
Maybe. I would probably give it to Hardy
before the team that kicked him off the team.
That's true. Speaking of that team, Bub Carrington would be in play for me. I think Bub Carrington especially if Brogdon's out, because you'll get Bub Carrington starting and probably in blowout as well.
Yeah. That's fair.
And then KJ Simpson, if you believe that. Whatever happened with Charlotte. I don't know what it was.
I don't know what happened either.
It's very frustrating. Obviously, we've talked about it. We kind of have to revisit it here, unfortunately, for
I don't even know if I would want to play it anyways versus the Knicks. But...
Yeah, well, Knicks are bad defensively.
Yeah,
they're not. They're 21st in defensive rating. They are now currently the number 1 rated offense in the NBA. They are also 21st in defense. They've been that team all year. We were talking about it. We were like, oh, well, it was kind of that one Boston game where they gave up all those threes, but they've just kind of stayed bottom 10,
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go KJ Simpson though, even then.
I'm not saying we have to. I'm just also just bringing up that I don't think the Knicks are good defensively.
No problem. We'll see where the chalk ends up being, right? Yeah. We're sitting here right now.
Spurs. It's going to be on. I mean, we're going to get to the Spurs throughout the whole show. It's going to be all Spurs.
Okay. All right, shooting guard. A lot of these guys we discussed. Brandon Miller. If you want to talk Knicks bad defense, this would be the one Hornet to play. Right? Man took 25 more shots. Back-to-back games with 7 3-pointers made 42 fantasy points. So. Up to 8,500 now, but if you're taking 30 shots, who cares?
Right.
Bradley Beal played 31 out of the jump. Good for him there. Certainly has maybe a little bit of value. I don't like the 83 bump.
I don't like the price. Yeah, I don't like the price.
There's certainly opportunities there without Durant. Levine, $7,600 for San Antonio.
Yeah, I'm indifferent, but he has a ceiling without Kobe White.
Yep. I think he'll play more minutes. I think he'll be better in this spot than he was against Brooklyn there. Talk Maine. Bane is 67.
Yeah. He's made shots the last couple games.
Did Grayson get in that game a little bit, but not at 54?
He started the second half in favor of Durant.
Yeah, LeVert's good at 50. Would you rather play LeVert at 51 or Vassell at 5K though?
Vassell.
Yeah, 100%.
I would play LeVert if Ty Jerome were to sit, because I think 24 minutes is probably on the low end.
Tomorrow's ownership run, Vassell highest among top 3 highest roster plays at 5K.
Yeah, I think all 3 are Spurs.
All 3 are Spurs.
Zach Collins / Charles Bassey.
Oh yeah, we're back in the Bassey love again.
Because I don't know if you've looked at Collins and Bassey's price.
Yeah,
they did not adjust.
No. Well, Webby got ruled out this afternoon. That's why they didn't kind of have the time.
So I think those 2, and then probably.
I mean, I was all in on Vassell on the other night, and he obviously played more minutes than I think we had expected, but also 10 for 14. Where
he went.
Chris Paul is kind of eating into his peripheral stats, but and Castle as well, but super great there. Castle down to 49. He played 34 minutes. He was still not losing any minutes there. Nope. You can go either that. Cason Wallace was a popular value play. He came through for everybody, but no, sorry. He was early slate run popular value play. Then when we actually played him, he was 10%. Nobody played him.
He was good.
He came through.
I don't think Caruso's back for this one, so I'm a little lukewarm on the rest of the Thunder tonight.
All right. Anybody else that's more shooting guard then?
I mean, I guess salute to the 1% that played Sam Merrill in that game, but I doubt he gets 23 minutes again because it's getting more competitive.
Yeah, Garland got hurt, and then they subbed in Merrill, not LeVert, in that spot.
True. Yeah. Probably not gonna. Yeah, probably not. Can't go there.
What's the campaign status here? Is campaign out? Questionable. Campaign sits. Could be more minutes for Deuce.
Yeah. Agreed.
He's already playing. He's already playing, but maybe you throw him some of those 19, go back to McBride, and now maybe he's approaching 30. I like that spot.
Yeah, they just play 7. Yeah. Nick just play straight up 7 people.
Would they not just play 7 guys here? I mean, I think McBride's pretty good there at 41 for tournament play.
Did you actually? You know what? Precious Achua is questionable for this game. So maybe they have Precious. Yeah, maybe they have Precious enter the rotation too.
Exit out Jericho Sims. See you later, son. It's well, though they could play Precious at the 4, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Scotty Barnes, small forward up here. Miller, we've talked about. Beal, RJ at home, but it's against the Thunder. You got 2 Canadian boys going up against each other here, and SGA and RJ Barrett.
Yeah, I mean, the home splits lived up.
Dude, home splits held.
They did hold. I don't know if I'm gonna.
He's in the Dort chamber here, right? Like he's drawing the Dort.
Even if he doesn't, he draws J-Dub, right? Like one of the two. He gets one of the 2.
And then when one of those are off the floor, he gets Caruso.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this is why the Thunder, are they?
Waves of wing defenders overall.
Dude, I mean, Cason Wallace just constantly like flapping his hands in front of you too with all the steals he's had. I mean, it's just
like the Thunder saw the Celtics down the tracks, and they're like, all right, we need some wing defenders here, and just
that's why I don't want whatever happens and teams get to the finals, it's great. But that's always been my desired finals. I mean, they signed Hartenstein before the Chet injury, right? Like it just seems like they're a match made in heaven for that's the next big rivalry that every year it's all right, here we go again.
Yeah, I agree. Again, I do like Levine. We talked about that. DDR $7,500 for him.
Fine.
Fine. There. MPJ 71 against Cleveland.
Yeah, fine.
Okay. Aaron Gordon's back, and I think that might help him out a little bit too to draw it a little bit away.
Yeah,
he's been good though. Murphy 66. Everybody's back, as you said, but
yeah, everyone back.
30 minutes in that game, so it looks good.
Josh Hart triple double.
Yeah, I know.
Can never get him right, but
just sort of getting there too every time. Steals have been good. His point projection was 12.5. I almost took the over. I'm glad I did not there. Jones Koulibaly, Grimes, Martin. I don't want to pay $5,200 for Martin. I guess Champagny at 5K.
Yeah.
No, Wemby.
Yeah. Well, I guess he went from 30s to 28. So we obviously saw
Was he the
a
Sohan?
little bit of peek of behind the curtain, right? Like
Sohan center only still. Where is he?
He is not.
No, thankfully, one Slate. Where is he?
We're almost there. He's power forward.
6K. Okay. I'm trying to see what his price tag was.
Yeah, I don't know about. I'm not saying no to Champagny. I'm also just a little bit like, if Vassell's minutes are going to continue to be like that.
Yeah.
I
Calvin
think
still played 25 in that game as well.
they just have a lot of dudes. You know,
Dude, remember Harry B was balling out with no Wemby. he had 40 fantasy points in 2 straight games with no Wemby.
If you play Harrison Barnes, you could. So like I was gonna say, like you could technically get away with it because you don't have to do the show tomorrow. So like you could just play him and nobody will be there to like be like, yo, what were you thinking?
I feel that way right now with Jordan Miller playing 7 first half minutes. So.
Yeah, but we're gonna get. I mean, they're down 30, so we'll get Jordan Miller plenty of time. I got one for you. Bazulis, no Lonzo, no Williams. Coming off the game that he came off.
Still only 22 minutes though. Like, why aren't they extending him more?
If Josh Giddey were to be ruled out,
sure,
I think he starts.
Okay.
Or even if he doesn't, they started Julian Phillips. We'll talk about. We don't really need to talk about him. I think there's a chance that he starts. I should say, because they could just play Io Levine in the backcourt.
Sure. Power forward, J-Dub, $8,700 against Toronto.
I like the price coming down.
Price is coming down. It is coming down. He's so good though. 44, 43, like 28 actual, like just legit. Just a baller. Again, Mobley is 78. It's there. Triple J 73. PJ Washington's probably axed now that everybody's back there. Getting to Sohan. He played 22 out of the jump, was doubling. Just really good right away. It was only a thumb. There's no Wemby. My assumption is that he plays more minutes in this game.
Yeah, it gets up to like 30. Yeah. Love Sohan is 6K, especially if and when we, kind of like hear that, all right, he's starting. Like that's the thing too. He was playing so well. There's no way that he lost his starting job while he was gone. Right? Like there's just no way. He was playing so well.
He came back and did the same thing.
Right, but like they didn't start him, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I would assume he has a legit chance at re-entering the starting lineup. Even if he doesn't, he's in play. Just circling back to Mobley, this is one of those spots. I know Aaron Gordon's obviously like super elite defensively and just like really good in general, despite you not thinking so. Every single time Evan Mobley's been extended, basically outside of the Boston game, and I'm talking like these like mid to high 30s minutes. I mean, dude, he has just an insane ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
So the last 3 times we've gotten 37 plus minutes from Mobley, 46, 60, 49 fantasy points. He's just a very good basketball player. So I'm going to think really hard about that one because you said it right off the top. You said this game kicks off at 7:00 with a 235.5 implied total, 3.5 point spread in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Former champions going into a team that like is in a pretty crazy like stretch of games right now. Kind of like, who are you? Are you guys serious? So yeah, I mean, I really like the Mobley play.
Yeah.
If he gets those minutes again, right? Like if he gets up to like the 38.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't see a reason he'd be limited at all. And again, if this game plays the way it's supposed to play, so
right.
I'm with you there. We talked there. Aldama still continues to be really good.
He does.
Keeps knocking down shots. Now he's being hyper efficient.
Yes.
I don't think he's going to shoot 80% forever. But...
and 64% from 3 over the last 5 games.
Yeah. Didn't mean to skip over Aaron Gordon. 33 minutes in that game. went back to giving us what we were getting early season Aaron Gordon before the injury. So,
do you see Aaron Gordon from 3 this year?
Yeah, it's been good.
57% from 3.
Also doesn't feel likely to continue, but
no. But no, I know, but like still,
it makes me wish I had like $31 to spend on him in FSGA. I didn't have it though.
Yeah, it's tough.
All right, we got Sar. Played 28 minutes.
Wish you would play in the blowout. Like wish that said like 35.
Sure.
But if they're shorthanded, which they are, I mean, we might get it.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Royce O'Neal played 30. I think he's the Durant minutes guy, probably.
Every time I know when Royce O'Neal's minutes are coming, I don't. So I'd love to sit here and tell you yes, John. But if you remember, the last time Durant was out, he was playing low 20s. I couldn't stop counting him, and he never played more than like 22 minutes. And then Durant comes back, and he's like, all right, 33, 24, 29. It's like, all right, dude, whatever.
Iguodala started, played 28 minutes, low volume, 17 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, you would have loved to see it a little more with the start plus no Durant in the second half, but he just didn't get
there. That looks to be it.
Yeah, it's interesting that they bumped. Yeah, he started. I don't think it's like the best play, but if he's if Giddey gets ruled out and Phillips is starting, I would still, if I'm playing one of the two Bulls at 3K, I'd still rather play Bazulis because Bazulis just obviously has the ceiling, and we've seen that a couple times where he's able to score a lot of points in like a short window. But it is at least worth mentioning that Phillips is 3K and potentially starting here.
Sure. All right. I cut you off though. Who were you mentioning at power forward? Talking about a price point for somebody. Aaron Wiggins.
Oh no. They bumped Salon to 46, so he's. Okay. I'm happy to report that his price is now unplayable.
Yes, he did double though. Unbelievable.
I know it is unbelievable, but again, just happy to report we don't have to worry about it anymore. He's 40. He's too expensive.
Center Joker is 12K.
He is.
We know he is the best player on the slate.
He's the best player in the world.
Best player in the world. But they dropped Towns' price point, $200, and he's got Charlotte.
Because they're in all these blowouts,
I know.
And he's not. And like I know he played 36 in Orlando, but like he didn't need to like really do much.
I know.
The New Orleans game, he played 25 minutes. Charlotte was an awful sub 200 point game. Yeah, it's a good price.
Still had 40%. Yeah, I still had
really good price. Really good price.
And you think about Charlotte, Nick Richards playing really, really well right now. Kind of like
he is. He really is.
So, anyways, Jokic for sure. Yes. But Towns is the next. I mean, again, no knock on Sabonis, but Towns is probably where I would go. Vuk.
Yep.
985. He's been really good here. Hartenstein, as you mentioned, outside
finally had a bad game.
Yeah, played 22 minutes. He probably would have gotten there had he not been a blowout, right? Like they would have still put him out there for 30 minutes in a competitive game. He probably doubles still and gives you 35 plus fantasy points. But
yeah, he's still. I mean, he could have tripled. He might have triple doubled.
He might have triple doubled even on a bad shooting night. So, you got that as a play at 76. Jared Allen, 67, has his work cut out for him. Also has not been playing that well. You got Richards and Jonas Valanciunas here. Valanciunas was dominating and then never got back in the game. Nick Richards didn't care that Mark Williams was back. He played 30 and had himself a big double-double. Nick
Richards says, I'm happy you guys are all excited about Mark Williams coming back, but I am not giving up this job.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think, truthfully, Nick Richards is probably the better play and will be 1/3 the ownership that Valanciunas will be.
Again, you think more people go back to Valanciunas just because of
shorthandedness of the team? Like, I know both teams are shorthanded. I think when you think about Washington, they're double bigging. So there's like behind Jonas Valanciunas is Anthony Gill at this point.
Yeah.
You have Anthony Gill behind Valanciunas. When you're talking Nick Richards, it's like, oh man, when's Mark Williams going to get extended? He played 9 minutes. Is he going to play 15 this game? Is he going to play 16? Like, I'm not saying that is the logical way to think. I just think that is what is going to happen. Just naturally, you'd assume Mark Williams is going to play more than 8 minutes a night, and that's going to cut into Nick Richards. But
I still think it comes out of Diabate, honestly.
No, I don't disagree. I'm just saying like Diabate played 10 minutes in that game, right? Yeah. We're obviously trending towards DMP unless they give him power forward minutes and like take some from Salon, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Valanciunas is going to have more ownership. Now, I don't think it matters because there are two centers that are $3,500 and $3,000 that everyone's going to play. Zach Collins is going to start at $3,500, and then Bassie might play more than him at $3,000. So, like, I could see a scenario where half the field is like, I'm just going to play Zach Collins. We've seen him be the backup, even though that's kind of been split lately. And then half the field's going to be like, well, Charles Bassie might just get on the floor and grab 20 rebounds and not come off the floor.
Yeah, fantasy point per minute freak.
Dude, look at the 3 games that he played the backup. He had 6, 2, and 3 blocks to go along with 9, 8, and 6 rebounds. He didn't even need to score a point in those games to smash.
If he gives you hits, it's 6x. Without
scoring a literal point. So it's really hard to look at Collins and Bassie and be like, yeah, I wouldn't want to play. Dude, there might be lineups with both, John.
They're not playing Jokic.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I think Bassie's the easy double center play to fit Jokic in your lineup plus others.
Yeah, it just like if you wanted to play Luka, or if you wanted to play Booker, or if you wanted to play like there aren't like real like Donovan Mitchell, right? And 3 8K plays. You could just play both 3K guys. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just also saying they're both going to be highly rostered.
Yeah,
Collins, and because the price, like it's just kind of
we did
a silly thing here.
Joker, Bassie, 5,800 to play. I mean, obviously we have some other value we could, kind of plug in there. We mentioned liking this. Let's see, we get Mitchell at 88, be 5,200. Start a build there. I mean,
that's very doable.
If Vassell was, we'll do Mitchell at point guard.
Well, Bub Carrington, Vassell. Just looking at like value in general.
Yeah, small forward. Would you rather Koulibaly over Bub, or?
I think I would probably rather Bub, because I think we've now seen in back-to-back blowouts, Koulibaly's lost some minutes, and I think that was his best attribute, like getting 40 minutes, because he's not like the highest ceiling guy. So I'd probably rather play Bub.
Okay. I mean, we can just keep. I think we're out of position eligibility for Giddey though.
We are.
Point guard only, huh? That's killer. They need to give Vassell a small forward, and then we'll be alive. But I don't think it's ever going to happen.
No.
All right, we'll go Sohan then. Small forward, 53. Any value? Is there just a regular value forward we could play?
Bazulis at 3K.
Yeah.
I mean, he played 21 minutes in a game without Kobe White, right? So
plug in Levine on the other side of that. Get Levine, Bazulis. Levine's going to score.
So just for context here, Bazulis, and I find this very interesting. He was the second sub in the game. He played 21 minutes, didn't play the final 8 minutes of the game.
Weird.
A little weird, no?
No, definitely weird. But for 3K, I'll take it. And then again, I plugged in Levine just as a forward. Okay. Offensive upside against San Antonio there. So Mitchell, Vassell, Bazulis, Sohan, Jokic, Carrington, Levine, and Bassi. Getting Jokic and an $8,800 Mitchell, $7,600 Levine, 6K Sohan. Stacking the Chicago-San Antonio game, which we said was going to be a banger. And then we also have a little mini stack there, Denver-Cleveland, which we also like. And we got the one-off Carrington blowout run play. So example lineup for all of you here. Again, we got the Cyber Monday deal going on. Go to fantasyslam.com/cyber, promo code CM24. You can also scan the QR codes there on the screen, get 50% off the monthly All-Pro subscription through 2026. We're giving the entire year of 2025 for 50% off. So check it out. Come join the family. Grande and Carlucci will be with you guys tomorrow, and then Grande and Keith will be live on Friday. I'm going to a wedding in Georgia, so you won't see my pretty face until Sunday for the NFL show. Until then, everybody, good luck with your lineups. You can find me on Twitter. I'll be in the Discord. You can tag me there. We'll catch you later.